What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you stopping by for the first time, if you see something that you like here today, please don't forget to subscribe at some point. Those of you stopping by that have been here before, welcome back to TLTG Reviews, my friends. Glad you came see me. So today I was taking a look at my collection and I thought, why not? Let's do that video. So I'm bringing you 10 fragrances that, in my opinion, are very underrated for hot weather. Stay tuned. So starting off with one that I just recently wore. It's actually from Camuto. It's Camuto Homme. Has a good gin and tonic type of smell, very fresh. Oh, very fresh, spicy. The citrus is heavy in this one, as well as that tonic water smell. Great fragrance. Doesn't get much love. Camuto fragrances in general don't really get much love. I don't know why. All but one that I've tried, I like a lot. This one in Eterno, love them. Black Bottle, man, didn't really care for. I have a half ounce of that one, but I have 50 mLs of this in Eterno, and I'll tell you what, this is a damn good fragrance right here. I really enjoy this one thoroughly. Decent performer, 5 hours-ish. You know, nothing special, 4 to 6 hours depending on your skin. But, I mean, you can have this 50 ml for 20 bucks online. Rack stores, which is, I found this one at Marshall's 2 years ago. Great fragrance find. If you can find them out in the stores, it's always fun to find them in person instead of ordering online. But if you do want to look at them online, of course, there's always a link in the description of FragranceNet. Really good stuff. Had to start it off with this because this is one of my favorite fragrances for this time of year. Criminally underrated. Next is actually a discontinued fragrance that's still readily available. You can still get your hands on it. It's not the cheapest thing by any means. But it's a great fragrance, for sure. It's from Viktor and Rolf. Spicebomb Fresh. This is a 20 ml atomizer, travel size that I do have. But such a good fragrance. Oh man, a fresher Spicebomb. Added sea salt, heightened grapefruit. Spices aren't really toned down so much as it's not quite as dense. Still a good performer. Still get about the same performance I get out of the normal Spicebomb Eau de Toilette, about 7 hours. Projects about the same. I don't find it watered down like a lot of people say. It's a lighter compound, but it still performs pretty good. Sadly discontinued, but you can still find them pretty easily as far as 100 mLs and then 5 ounce bottles as well. Like I said, not cheap, but not super expensive either, and really worth the money you're going to spend on them. Compliment gaining stuff if you love spicy fragrances and you're looking for a great spicy fragrance in the hot weather. Spicebomb Fresh is going to have you covered. Very underrated. So underrated, it even got discontinued. Next is one that I actually did a full review a few weeks ago. I'll put that right there if you want to check it out. It's from Guerlain. It's the least popular fragrance in the line from what I can gather. It's L'Homme Ideal Sport. I like it. I just do. I know a lot of people don't really care for it. I do. I think it's different. Very watery aquatic with that creamy almond. I dig it. I do. It's different. It smells like nothing else that I have. Uniqueness in my collection? Check. Watery, aquatic, fresh? Check. Creamy almond? That's always a check. I love that note in fragrances. And it's a decent performer. Check. I don't think it gets enough love, really and truly. I think people need to sample this one more. Don't just go off of reviews and written reviews and video reviews. Try it for yourself. Be the judge of it, because if I just went off of what somebody said instead of trying it for myself, I would have never got this. I did blind buy it. I did go out on a limb because I wanted to have the whole line, because I started falling in love with the line. And it's actually not my least favorite, believe it or not. I don't really have a least favorite. I may have to do a video ranking them one day. But Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Sport, ideal, I get it, but it's pronounced ideal from what I've learned. Great fragrance. Criminally underrated. Kind of bordering into that hidden gem territory because it doesn't get any love, you know? And I strongly believe if you sample it, there's a chance you might love it like I did. Lhomme Ideal Sport from Guerlain. Next is another recent acquisition to the collection that I didn't realize I was going to like as much as I did. It actually jumped into my summer cheapie list last minute because I got it 2 days before, wore it, and fell in love with it. And it's very underrated. Nobody really talks about it. It's from Hugo Boss. It's Hugo Iced. If you're looking for a great mint fragrance on a budget, they got you covered. Oh man, it's a very fresh mint. In the opening, it's a little watery, like a mouth-watering type of mint. Synthetic, of course. Nothing natural about this fragrance, but it smells great. And you can get it cheap. I paid for the 75 ml was $25, I want to say, at Marshall's. You can get the 75 ml for $20 from FragranceNet, $28, $29, something like that for the 4.2 ounce. It's a damn good price for a pretty underrated fragrance. This is great. If you're looking for a good mint fragrance, don't think Crypto Mint from Amen, the Amen line, and Wild Mint for the new line from Azzaro. Don't think those are the only, you know, good mint fragrances from a designer level. This is a damn good mint fragrance, and it's in cheapie level from discounters online and rack stores, and that's Hugo Iced. Very slept on. Next is one that doesn't really get hate, and maybe for its performance, I guess, but I actually get solid performance. I get about what and what with the original Eau de Toilette. It's Dolce & Gabbana, the one gray. I think it's a good fragrance. A fresh, more office-friendly version of the Eau de Toilette. It's got fresher components. It's not real citrus heavy, but that tobacco amber DNA is still very present in this. Not super cheap, but far from expensive. 100 ml run you about 40 bucks, which this is. It's a great fragrance. I tend to forget to wear it sometimes because I have so many. I think it's damn good. And another one that it gets talked about from time to time, but very underrated. Not a lot of people really recommend it outside of people that hit the rack stores, because these were going around the rack stores pretty heavy last year, and that's why people were picking them up. And there's some channels that frequent the rack stores just like I do. They got their hands on it, and they talked about it on their channel, and I 100% agree with them. It's underrated. It's a great fragrance. It's great for this time of year. If you like Dolce & Gabbana the one, but want a fresher version for the heat, get gray. It'll fill the void. Next, I've talked about this one recently in my collaboration with Steve, Fragrance Fanatic. Shout out to you, Steve. This is the 2019. He had the 2015 or 16, or it might have been the 17. I think he had the 17. But 2015 to 19, it's the same formula, so it don't really matter. They just got different color bottles. But it's Calvin Klein Eternity Summer, the yearly flanker. You can see that. You know, it's hard to see, I guess, that blue gradient. His bottle looks a lot better than mine. Matt over at Georgia Gent actually has the 2020, which they changed the scent. It's not the same. This is very lime, sea salt, and sage heavy, and that's really what you smell with a woody dry down. Generic, you know, not overly exciting, but a very easy wear. Very great in the hot weather. You can't dress it up. I mean, you can dress anything any way you want, but as far as my recommendations, I would go anywhere from, you know, t-shirt, tank top on up to, you know, a collared polo style shirt, maybe even an Oxford. Probably wouldn't wear this with a suit, but you know, if you're going to dinner that night and this was the only fragrance you had with you, you'd be totally fine. Very, very easy wear. Not a, you know, monster in any category, but it absolutely gets the job done. Very underrated. You can get them from discounters in that $25 range. I did get this before they ran out of stock a few months ago, like 3 months ago from FragranceNet on the 2019. I don't know if they have the 2020 or not. I did not check before I shot this video, but like I said, underrated, kind of hidden gem-esque type of stuff. It's a yearly summer flanker that they do, and this was the last year of this formula because 2020 is a new formula. And I got to tell you, the 15 to 19, it's very fresh, very pleasing. You will enjoy it for the price. And that's CK Eternity Summer 15 to 19, with this being the 2019 version. Actually going to be wearing this one this week in the rotation. This is going to be one of my work fragrances because I don't know, depending on when this video comes out, it might be my scent of the day when this video comes out. But from Mercedes-Benz, it's Mercedes-Benz, the original Eau de Toilette. I haven't smelled Fahrenheit cologne. I've been asked a few times in the comments about Fahrenheit cologne, Based on the note breakdowns of that and this, I believe this is their version of Fahrenheit cologne, because the Intense is Mercedes' version of regular Fahrenheit, or Fahrenheit Acqua, people like to compare it to. I haven't smelled the Acqua, just the original Fahrenheit. And Le Parfum and 32. That's the ones I have smelled. Spray a little more. Has the violet, little petroleum, but not overly. It's kind of subdued. The citruses are heightened. It's got a bright opening. Very good dry down. Not overly powdery or anything like that. Ross Dress for Less, 25 bucks for this 120 milliliter 4-ounce bottle. You can find them at the rack store. That's where I found this one. Online, mid-20s. Very easy to get. FragranceNet has them. Fragrance X, eBay, Amazon, all these different places. You can get the little small bottles and the little samples to try it out, because I know it's kind of polarizing. Some people really like this one and recommend it. Some people don't. That's why it tends to be underrated, because for those of us that like it, it doesn't get talked about enough. For those that don't like it, they're making it underrated because they're saying it's terrible and they don't want people to talk about it. Try it for yourself. Get a sample. Get one of the little samples. The first time I tried it, I had a little sample. And then they have the little bitty, like, it's less than a 1/4 ounce. It looks like the bottle, but it's like this big. You can get those and get a few wearings out of it. See if you like it. If you like it, it's underrated for summer. Great to wear to work in the heat, too. Not going to get cloying, but a little bit denser than your standard citrus aromatic fragrance for summer. And that's the original Mercedes-Benz. One of my favorite houses, Salvatore Ferragamo F. Free Time. This was just on the gym video. Great gym fragrance, really is. But has decent enough performance to where I would suggest wearing it as a casual wear, wearing it to work, something like that. Performance isn't stellar. A lot of people claim 3 to 4 hours. I tend to get more in that 5-ish hours range. I would say, depending on your skin chemistry, anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. It varies for everyone. You know, just because I get 5 hours doesn't mean you'll get 5 hours. Just because you get 7 hours doesn't mean I'll get 7 hours. And vice versa. It's definitely one to try. The lemon is very fresh, almost gelatin-like. And the vetiver is very present here, but it's a clean, fresh vetiver, which is the types of vetiver that I like. I don't like the dirty, earthy, smoky stuff. And this is far from it. And you can get these cheap. 50 ml like this, 20 bucks or less. They pop up at the rack stores. You can get them online from discounters in that same price range. I'll spray it one more time. Very good atomizer too. Just say fresh, delightful citrus aromatic. You can't go wrong, and it's cheap. It's a great cheapie. A lot of you know Salvatore Ferragamo makes some really good designer fragrances, and they get cheap from these discounters. And this is underrated, in my opinion. F Free Time from Salvatore Ferragamo. I'm pretty confident you might not see this one coming. This one I tend to forget I have. I did wear it not long ago, a couple weeks ago. And I wore it again recently out the shower. Very good, fresh, got a little minty quality to it. It's from Tommy Hilfiger. It's Tommy, Into the Surf. That's right, Tommy Hilfiger flanker. I do like the candy cane style in the cap, but I'm an originalist. I'm a purist. I like that flat design from the original cap more than these style caps, but this is what all the flankers seem to have. Very, very good fragrance. Very fruity too. Very fruity aquatic with a little light mintiness in the background. 20 bucks. You can get this big 100 ml. Just like most Tommy fragrances. Right in that $20 range. Discounters. I did get this at Marshall's, I believe. It was either Marshall's or TJ Maxx. It was one of those. That's where I frequent, Marshall's and TJ Maxx. And you can find those for, like I said, $20 range, sometimes $15. I want to say I might even paid like 16 bucks for this, $15.99. That's a great price for this. Decent performer, 4-ish, 5-hour fragrance, something like that. Hour projection, then it sits pretty close to the skin, but damn good freshie for the money. You can't go wrong with Tommy Hilfiger fragrances. They're always, you know, at the very least, a moderately pleasing fragrance. None of them smell bad from the ones I've tried anyways. And they're not performance monsters, but they're cheap. They get the job done. They're stuff you can just toss in your bag, keep with you, refresh throughout the day. You're going to smell fresh and themed for the summer. Tommy, Into the Surf. And last is actually one more discontinued fragrance. So I actually have 2 of them on the list, but it's still readily available, easy to find online. Especially eBay, Amazon, places like that. FragranceBuy.ca probably has it. You know, just check the discounters for sure. I'm not sure if FragranceNet currently has a stock or not. They may. But from Valentino, probably the most underrated in the line in my opinion. Uomo Acqua. That's right. The green tomato leaf fragrance with iris. Very good too. Oh man, very, very, very good smell. The opening is gorgeous on this fragrance. Yeah, performance is lacking. That's the hit that it takes. Keep it with you and refresh, or keep a decant and refresh, because the scent quality on this one is phenomenal. The iris isn't overly lipsticky. It's very floral fresh. The green tomato leaf and that, I think it's green, the tomato leaf and green mandarin, I believe, is in the top. Very fresh. Different smell. Doesn't smell like everything else. Criminally underrated. So underrated, got discontinued. But then again, most of the line did, I believe, anyways. I don't know if Born in Roma is even in production still. I think it is. Pretty sure it's their newest one. But Intense and regular Uomo and this, I believe, are all discontinued. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I know this one's discontinued. And it's a great fragrance. Fantastic for summer. Very underrated. It's not a hidden gem. People know about it. It's just some people can get turned off when they hear performance isn't that great or performance is moderate at best. When they hear stuff like that, they're like, oh, I'm not spending my money on that. Fragrances, different fragrances have different uses and they have their place. And this one absolutely has a place in my collection and my summer rotation because I think it's a fantastic fragrance. And that's Uomo Acqua from Valentino. Well, that's the 10 I had for you. And until next time, guys, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of these do you have and appreciate just like I do? How many of these are some new discoveries for you? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you grab any of these and you give them a spray this summer, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.